whom I should share this small speech. And as part of balance, I am very, very used to improvise things. And minimal structures allow maximum flexibility. That is a very good statement. So I will start to because I will just going to show you a little illustration of the type of this range for AV. I'm not sure. I have to read once more. What is it? Arbitrary space, intimacy
is great in macro scale.
In macro scale. Well, that's art. I would say first, I would say that art is never shown in scale. Art is always in one-to-one. Art is not representing itself, it is just presenting itself. That's the most for me, important thing to be said. Art is always presenting itself, as in Heidegger, the lecture from Björn about Heidegger. Art cannot be represented. Then it is a reproduction. It is something that it's not real. So art is always in full scale. It's one-to-one, and it's your duty. You are the person who makes it to art. This is the most important thing, and maybe, and I had a serious conversation last night, Lucien Kroll and me, about what we are dealing with, and he said, he usually not talk about this work, he present this work, because what has been done is important, most important thing, not the theories, not the presentation about it. So I will try to show to you. No structure gives me a lot of possibilities. And Brian,
I'm here.
yeah, I think that are you going to use?
Yes,
structure?
after you
So
do it.
I'm preparing it for you now.
Yeah, but rather stupidly, I left my plug adapter stuck in the wall. So I've got probably just enough power and battery to do it, unless anyone's got a Mac.
I'm not sure I understand you, but I'm sure you are talking very serious to me now. So the macro scale, or the macro scale, or the micro scale is, I would say, not actual. You have to have it in mind when doing something, and maybe when you are done, you always go to things that are big, that is in public space, big things. Maybe when you are older, it is you have more self-confidence, and you allow yourself to be working in small scale, small size, scale, in small sizes, and that is also something that is something you can think about. I think that art is also, I think something from your speech today, the continual negotiation. It is dynamic synchronization that art allows you to be emotional on the theme without really being agreed about it. It is the possibility of changing opinions. not about good and bad just because it allows you to open yourself. It is that is also as a side of the possibilities in art. You can use it in among 2 or 3 or 5 or hundreds of people. Art create the possibility of doing civilization. In my work in Bergen, I would say that I have created a space. The space is there and it has created itself by some small interventions. It's not about the stone, the slab, it is not about what it costs, but it is certainly about that it is blue, because the blue has a quality of art in itself. A blue that is not that it is cost a lot of money, that is a very rare stone, but that it is blue because the blue is some kind of poetic, it's part of the poetic language. I mean, you can say blue, you use it in different ways. It is certainly something poetic, something low. So, my contribution to art is in that specific area is a space that itself is that is creating itself.
We are very sorry about this because the professor will try to know it down. Sorry for this.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm not impressed at all. I just try to do the best.
Oi. Nei.
Det er ganske uvanlig, Espen. Du kan bare ta sonene. Du den øverste.
No. No.
That's up.
Nei. Oi. No, it's no electricity. Everything's not.
So, okay. But it is the same situation with Brian, so we have to maybe you also talk a little. We can improvise together.
And we do a puppet show.
Yes. No. No, it's not electricity. No, it's not possible. Finish it. Good break.
We have said so many bad things about next
Nice. More than enough.
Okay. It's not about what I wanted to tell. I think I wanted to say something about it because I'm fed up with all the talking about the blue stone situation. But I will be very exact about what I did. I was allowed to create the central space in Rome. And I did it, of course, with concentration as an artist. And I was very concentrated about what material, what matters. how I should do it. But it's not about making a good stone or something. I just created possibilities. People who use it and has used it has created really. They have contributed to that this site was an artistic situation. They use it, and they use it in different ways. I'm not sure it's really. Yes. That is, for me, a very beautiful piece of picture. It's a little picture. It's a Swedish photographer that was living in the what? Leijonhufvud. Yeah. And he took that. If you look at this. It's a small piece of paper on the stone. That is very interesting. I didn't know about it after a while. And it's written something. It's a message. Someone has been and left that the function as a place for messages too. And I have seen it many times since then. And what is written on this piece of paper is not so important, but I like that they trust the situation for being community. That's the quality. It's no time for more, I think.
Brian, tell me what
Are you
Leijonhufvud.
prepared to do something?
Yeah, sure.
I can just Leijonhufvud. It's an architect.
He's an architect, and a very good photographer. So this was it. Yeah. Brian Kedling, the very famous a very competent and good artist. And when I saw that he had no space in our program, I would like to share
Thank you.
the review. Yes, sir. I appreciate this.
I'll go as quickly as I can, because I have to attend this for 30 minutes, so I will try and whiz through. Yeah, I write poetry, I make sculpture, I make performances. Many years I've kept those things separately. Now they come together as one thing. So when I start a piece of work now, I have no idea which way it's going to go. So what I'm going to do is to quickly whiz through some images to show you different places, different attitudes, and different ways of contacting sight. My principal thing that goes through everything is atmosphere. I'm very very interested in working with atmospheres that are already there, already structured into place, and in inventing atmospheres, trying to create them. So if I can go as quickly as I can. Some years ago, there was a project called Sculptures in Bergen, and 7 artists were contacted and asked to think about making works for the city. Most of them made a piece that was then dropped onto the site. I didn't want to do that. I'd known Bergen for a long time. I wanted to do something that was more intimate to the city, something that was very particular. This is the view from the window of the Natural History Museum, one of the most extraordinary museums on the face of the earth, as far as I'm concerned. And if you look below the moon, you'll see another thing a bit like the moon, which is a disc, a wooden disc. For me, the other thing was that we had to deal with the city, that they would make it, they would make every part of it. So I then found out which crafts Bergen was famous for, and then started to work on those crafts. And the one thing that always surprised me was the view lines. Always there's a different line. There's a different line to the mountain, to the field. I'm telling you, you know, but from the outside, this was always extraordinary. You'd be walking and suddenly stop because you've seen something you've not seen before. Then the mist would come in and it would disappear. So I made a conceptual telescope. 5 lenses that, when lined up, could say something about the place. I'm not showing my slides, I'm showing you a newspaper 2 years ago. Because 2 young guys from the Bergen newspaper decided they wanted to see if this thing really actually existed. So this is from the newspaper showing that it did. The first lens is made of silver and sits in the museum next to specimens of that little thing. It says, each one has a little text. It says, this is the lens of imagination. And it is made by Bergen silversmith. The next lens is hidden in the Greek art. It's made of glass and concrete. It's that little thing in the not the brass thing, it's a horrible black. But the thing in there, it sits in a concrete corner. It looks like a box that should close, but it's a glass lens, and it says this is the lens of culture. And this is a kind of place that no one goes. This is not this red thing. Makes the old thing look like a Joseph Boyce. Nothing to do with me. So it's something to do with them. They push this thing in the corner because this corner isn't used, which is a perfect place to hide a lens. The third lens is the lens of knowledge. I made a book, and a disc was cut out in the centre of the book, and a paper lens was made and put inside the book, and then the text opposite. And that's on a shelf in the library. And if you're very clever, you can find it, but you probably won't, but it is in there. This is a straight line, I should say. You just draw a straight line to these things. From the mountain to the museum, it crosses these sides. These are the lenses of departure and arrival, which are at the gatehouse. Below, there are iron railway tracks coming in and out of the city. Above, there's a cemetery full of iron tombstones, crosses. So these 2 heavy lenses are kind of holding the place down. And the final one is the lens of nature, the lens of place, which was made by a shipbuilder and was made in the style of how you make a boat. Very, very beautiful object. It's still there, it's got lots of carving on it. Someone tried to burn it, but it's still there. Normally, and I'm going as fast as I can, normally I make things which are very fragile. I make things which